flavors are lush and my neighbors are rush.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm the 2KMC, here to tell you what's happening in the neighborhood this holiday season. Get started with Big Top Challenge. Make big plays with big heads. On Monday, head to Dime Time, where you'll work with the community to reach the assist goal. And on Tuesday, head to Dunk Fest, where you'll work with the community to reach the dunk goal. On Wednesday, swing by the rec, because all games will be worth double rep. And on Christmas Eve, it's Rush 1v1. Win 4 games in a row for a chance to win exclusive Rush gear and more. Starting on Christmas, we're throwing a weekend-long 2K beach party, and you're all invited. So throw on your festive apparel and head to the courts for some holiday cheer. And if you want to treat yourself to some 2K wardrobe shopping, then be on the lookout for in-game apparel drops from Eric Emanuel.
And coming to you today from Portland, Oregon, on the banks of the beautiful Willamette River, it's the NBA on 2K Sports. Joined now by Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and our sideline reporter David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan. With us tonight, one of the quickest players in league history, Kenny the Jet Smith. I almost feel like I should say your name fast because that's the way you played the game.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you.
But is the show going to be fast? Because I heard like it's a little bit less time down here than it is up top.
Well, I think it goes by so quickly.
It's not quite jet quick, but it does play with some pace.
Because when you guys are home sleeping, we're still on the air.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
That is true.
That
is true.
We might be having a teeth or two after.
There it is.
And that is true.
Whatever that is.
DA, take it away.
Well, the ceremony was delayed, and understandably so, but at last, the Hall of Fame class of 2020 was enshrined. And what a class it was, led by Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and of course, the late, great Kobe Bryant headlining the 9 inductees. There was tremendous poignancy with Kobe's inclusion coming so recently after his tragic death. And it was a night that none of us are going to forget. Guys?
Thank you, DA. Kenny, these days you need versatile defenders. In your opinion, who does the best job of guarding from point guard to center in the NBA?
Oof, you got Kawhi, you got AD. I would add Paul George in the mix.
Sure.
I would add Patrick Beverly in the mix. I would add PJ Tucker, guys who can play multiple defending positions.
Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley, I would add him in there. You notice most of them on the same team, huh?
Yeah, they are.
That's crazy.
Look at the 76ers starting group. We've got Joel Embiid. Scott is out there with Tobias Harris. Then it's Green, and it's Simmons in at the 1. And for the Trailblazers, the high-powered backcourt pair, Lillard and McCollum. Hood out there with Robert Covington, and it's Whiteside in at the 5 down low. Now here is Harris. They kick it out to Green. No good on the triple. And so Hood will bring it up for Portland. Here's McCollum. They get the rebound. And Lillard gets it to go.
Wow, in the open court, Lillard's eyes light up. He's an excellent scorer in transition.
Looking at Philadelphia, they took the win in their last game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking at the top 5 picks in the 2018 draft, Kenny, all of them have shown good play, tremendous promise. But if you could choose one for your team, which one would it be? I mean, the Doncic and Young and Jackson and Ayton and
if I had to go over and pick it now,
I mean, there's so many of them.
Man, I'm going straight with Doncic.
I mean, there could be only one. It's not even close.
Yeah,
the Doncic is the only guy on that list that, when it's all said and done, he's got a chance to be a top 10 all-time player.
Yeah, you know what he reminds me of? A more aggressive deadlift shrimp.
Ooh, I think even more than that. To me, he's a combination. I heard Larry and Magic. He's a combination of Larry and LeBron. Because
I can see that.
Magic wasn't like the scorer that those two are. Like, those guys are scorers.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
And then great passing ability. And the other thing about him, he's a better athlete, and he's a tremendous rebounder. I mean, that guy is special.
Simmons against Lillard. Pass to Harris. Oh, the lob for Simmons. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Demonstrating how fast he is. Simmons enjoys going up to hammer home that alley-oop.
We hear all these different terms about resting players, but Kenny, load management seems to be the one that is stuck. Is that something you wish was around, for instance, when you played?
Honestly, I probably didn't want it, but if I used it, I would have been a much better player, honestly, because your body is at 170 pounds, 6'3", is not built to play 82 games in playoffs. It's not built for that. Your body's just not meant for that. So yes, I might have been, Greg, I might have been in a couple All-Stars, man. I think, man, I could have done some things.
But wasn't there pride in players in playing 82 games?
In all reality, the pride was in you had to work for that next contract. The dollars are such now that it's an investment for the team that they're trying to protect. So it means as much for them to make sure you're rested and ready to go, to Kenny's point, as it does to you.
Good on the triple.
Oh, this speaks to the assertiveness of Harris. Look, shots like this demonstrate how effective he can be.
McCollum outside. Sweet little floater.
Oh, even from that range, the floater is one of the toughest shots in the game.
And here's Simmons. He'll bring it up for the 76ers. It's a 5-point game. This, of course, the first opportunity to play Portland this season.
And this was as even a matchup as you'll find in the NBA. Split the season series down the middle, one apiece.
You know, and now it's time to see which teams made that adjustment that could give them the edge. Some conference pride is at stake here, too.
So timeout called here, the first for Portland.
And it's often said this is an era of player empowerment in the NBA. Jet, do you think things are different from when we played?
Oh, for sure. Because of social media, because of the access to travel, players are more connected more than any other time. They do things off the court that we never did off the court. First time I met Greg was in a barbershop, like by happenstance. We weren't planning on meeting there.
Yeah.
The difference back.
Mike the Barber. Shout out Mike the Barber.
Mike Dean made 2K. Well, you know what? Because if you go back to like our era, like I used to tell people, like you could be the best guard on the East Coast, and you may have never seen the best guard on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have it. Like nowadays, these kids grow up competing against each other
all the time,
and they see each other on a regular
basis.
From a
very early age.
Early age, and players today know their value.
Yes.
They know what their value is to their franchise.
So both teams making some changes here. Let's see the stat sheet here for C.J. McCollum. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Second chance points. That helps an offense, Kenny. It's an easy way to get some scoring. Which players do the best job of keeping possessions alive for the chance to get the second chance?
Second chance points, I would say Drummond, Steven Adams, and Cantor. Those are guys who are great offensive rebounders, and they get it done.
Don't forget Montrezl Harrell is another guy that's doing a great job.
The Trailblazers shooting their first free throw of the night.
One shot.
The 76ers trail by 6. Now, here's Maxey. 11 points for him in that last game against Minnesota.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Releases from 15, and the Trailblazers getting another bucket right there.
And the story here, Kevin, early on, is how well they've shot the basketball.
The pass to Milton. It's hauled in by Trent. Trailblazers leading by 8. Well, we see rookies like LaMelo Ball and R.J. Hampton who chose to play in the Australian League rather than college basketball. Kenny, is that something you would have ever considered had you been in their shoes?
Well, no. I don't think I would have ever been in their shoes, honestly, because my thought process would have been totally different. But I do understand how some players will opt for that option, but also it's taking a huge gamble. And, it's going to probably work out for these two talented young players, though.
And the reality is most of the guys that have done that, it didn't benefit them. Because what people don't factor in is you're a young kid, you're going to live in a foreign country, different culture, you're going to be around people you don't know, and generally you don't get to play the game you played in high school because you're not the focal point. So it is a tremendous risk, and most people don't get to see you play until you get to the league.
And so here is Philadelphia after Damian Lillard was able to get the 3 to go. His shot was hindered by that momentous mobile 1 block.
And that'll give him a jolt. Nothing like a rejection to light a fire under you.
Now Milton turned in an outstanding game against Minnesota. Pell.
Such a strong defender. Collins is terrific at positioning his body on this end and contesting without foul.
Lillard attacking, and Lillard throws it down.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
Going for the juggler right off the bat. I mean, jumping out to an impressive early lead.
To the middle, here's Embiid. Shoots over Nurkic. Again, Philadelphia.
He seems to have a sense for where misses are going. Embiid, so fantastic at getting ideal positioning on the glass.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. Portland out in front. They lead by 11. From Portland, we're back in a moment. Damian Lillard told us before the game, when asked how he stays so grounded despite all of his individual success.
Humble beginnings. I'm from a tough place. Didn't get recruited in high school. I went to a small college, so I just come from something different than somebody that might have been 8th grade #1 prospect and getting recruited by every school in the country in the 9th grade where they might be a little bit more entitled.
Well, some of the best stories in our league are about guys who struggled to get to where they are today.
And I really hope the young guys out there are listening to this. You don't have to be a 5-star prospect to achieve your dreams.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And guys, the Trailblazers enjoying a nice lead here.
Impressive start. They came in with a well-conceived game plan and have executed.
Well, yeah, this is their preferred pace, and it's gotten them out to an early lead.
So to begin the second quarter for the Philadelphia 76ers, they've got Shake Milton. Also, Maxey out there. Embiid is out there with Matisse Thybulle. And it's Pell in at the 4 slot. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, good evening. Well, last season the Blazers were beset by injuries and they fell short of their goals. Their star Damian Lillard said, "Once we're in a better position, I want people to remember how I responded when things didn't go my way, so that they know my character is true." Kevin, we know that Dame grew up in Oakland, a place where overcoming adversity was ingrained. Back to you.
Thank you, D.A. Kenny, when you first came into the NBA, your coach was one of the all-time greats, Bill Russell in Sacramento, coaching that time the Kings. Was it intimidating for you at all?
Yes. It wasn't intimidating because of his basketball stature. I was more intimidated because of his social consciousness stature, of who he was as, knowing Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and that I was like, whoa. He was telling me stories so casually. So, Martin and I, like Martin who? Martin Luther King.
Lawrence?
He's like, Malcolm and I, Malcolm in the middle? No, Malcolm X. I'm like, wow, that blew my mind.
Yeah, things not going their way, and he wants to just try to talk this one over.
Well, the defensive intensity has to pick up, and I'm sure coach is going to let them know that.
An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Whiteside's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. Robert Covington comes in for Collins. Rodney Hood's checked in for Hezonja. And McCollum subbed in for Damian Lillard. Now here's Green. A 17-point game for him in the win against Minnesota. Shot clock at 5. Elbow shot is on the way. The 76ers with another miss. Trailblazers leading by 17. Nowadays, it seems, less dominant centers than in the past decades of NBA basketball. Kenny, you played alongside some of the great big men, including Hakeem Olajuwon. You think he'd be less or more effective? Oh, that was something else!
How can you not love Simmons? I mean, some of the dunks he pulls off are insane.
McCollum passes to Covington. From the arc. McCollum, no good.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
Outside, Green. A three-pointer off the mark. And so it's McCollum with it. He brings it up for Portland. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
Yeah, their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
Oh, they were flat out sniping from deep. They look very comfortable pulling the trigger on the road.
And the shot is good.
What you marvel about with McCollum, the consistency at the offensive end, year in and year out.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Pass to Simmons. And Simmons slams it in.
A problem inside. That's what he is. Once Simmons gets the ball in the positioning that he wants, he goes for the throwdown.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over.
Every time out, a chance to review the lineups, matchups, or call a play.
You know, that's what coaches are paid to do, right? I mean, curious to see what they go with here.
Going to be a lot of talk about who's going to take part in the three-point contest this season, and here's a look at the players most likely to make it.
And so many great shooters in the NBA these days, and these guys, quite frankly, the best of the best. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a scoring record broken in this year's competition.
And you look at McCollum. There are a few players ahead of him in the voting, but if he holds on to his spot at number 5 on that list, he'll have a place in the three-point contest waiting for him.
And if anything, I bet he moves up the list. I mean, how could you not have this fella taking part in this contest? He'll be there.
And we'll keep you posted as we find out more and as we get closer to the three-point contest once we have our final list of official contestants.
Yeah, it's going to be very competitive. That's the one thing we all know. We've got an incredible group of long-distance shooters in this league right now.
Improving as a distributor, it helps when Hood tries to share it like this.
Outside, Green. Simmons looking around. With some arc. That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
His shooting has been a bright spot for them. Otherwise, they've struggled as a whole.
Here's Trent, guarded by Green. Kicks it out to McCollum. And we want to thank the Jet for giving us his thoughts. Kenny, you can stop by here anytime. That door is always open for you.
Well, the door's open, but I'm going to steal a key just in case you don't invite me back. I'm taking it right now.
Well, he'll have the key.
Yes, sir. I'm taking the key right now.
We'll tell
fellow,
G-Way.
come back. Fellow PG, we got to let him in.
Yes, sir. I want to be back.
You guards always stay together. And C-Web, what can you say? Kenny Smith never one to pull any punches when he's talking about basketball. Or anything, for that matter.
Yeah, definitely. And he was such an integral piece to those Hakeem Olajuwon championship teams there in Houston.
Well, it's been an express lane to the rim. Coach can't be happy about that.
Poor rotations. I mean, slow help and just not enough toughness on the interior. They've got a lot to talk about.
And the 76ers with some changes. Embiid, he's checked in for Scott. Matisse Thybulle comes in for Danny Green. And Maxey subbed in for Shake Milton. Simmons on the wing. He dishes it to Harris. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
They get it again. Hezonja, an easy 2 points on the layup. Hezonja's got his first points in this one.
How frustrating for the defense. You get the stop, but then fail to block out.
Yeah, and it's inexcusable, but all too common. Back.
Nice.
And once Simmons turns on the Jets, there's no stopping him. I love seeing him play with this much confidence.
Lillard dishes to McCollum. Over Thybulle. McCollum, no good.
Still, plenty of time for him to contribute in this game, but it's a tough stretch he's going through.
And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It goes on C.J. McCollum.
Oh, man, and defenders have to be more cautious when guarding Harris. He is constantly looking to draw contact on his shots.
This is his first free throw of the game. And the first one at the line is good.
I mean, look, every year Harris looks more confident. He goes through stretches where he can dominate.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Pell's checked in. And Harris drops them both. 24 seconds left in the second quarter. Lillard the pass to Collins. And finished off by Collins.
I like to see this. Lillard patient reading the D. He finds the open man.
Here's Maxey. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Here's Embiid. Great D that time from Nurkic. And so it's the Portland Trail Blazers with a 19-point advantage heading into the next quarter. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks a lot. Damian, where does that game face of yours come from?
I think it's just the Oakland in me, really. I'm sure a lot of people know about the past, the Oakland point guards with Gary Payton, Brian Shaw, and Jason Kidd. And once you get on the court, it's time to compete. Off the court, I was raised to be a good person, high-character person, but on the court, in between those lines, everything is out the window. It's time to win.
That 5-1-0 is coming out, Damian. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime, so we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Boy, what a crowd joining us here for our halftime report. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And gracing us with his presence once again after his stirring performance with the live crew. At least that's what the card I'm reading says, and it was written by the always terrific Kenny Smith.
Well, you know what it was. You called it the live crew, but you know what it was when I was down there?
No.
You know it's always fun.
You know what, Kenny?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not a hater. I'm a congratulator.
Thank you.
And I must say, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Liked it almost as much as the regular broadcast. I was impressed.
And that's all we have for now. Tell the folks goodbye, Shaq. Tell the folks goodbye,
Goodbye.
Kenny. Goodbye. Go to Kevin Harlan.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
Yeah, he's just been raining down on them from deep here. You talk about dialed in.
Oh, man, what a tremendous first half. Okay, obviously he's feeling the flow, and he's looking to keep it going.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court for the Trailblazers, pairing up in the backcourt, Lillard and McCollum. Whiteside is out there with Robert Covington, and it's Hood in at the three. How about that mobile one block we just saw? Amazing defensive work.
Emphatic with the rejection. You've got to appreciate that kind of forceful defense.
The 76ers trailed by 21.
Well, you look at the career that Dame Lillard has had so far. Taken 6th in the 2012 draft out of Weber State, a small school, but this guy became a franchise player immediately for the Blazers.
Offensive rebound. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
And look at the fearlessness. It comes into play when you talk about Simmons. He's a force inside.
And thinking of Lillard, the numbers over his career are incredible.
And Lillard found his strength as a shooter, and boy, did he exploit it. He's been averaging 20 points per game almost his entire career, and he's kept adding to his game as one of the elite players in our league.
And he makes the first.
Well, growing up in Australia, Ben Simmons played lots of Australian rules football. When you watch him play, that's the toughness you see.
That one misses. Hey, Greg, if you could coach one team right now, who would it be?
That's a tough one. Clippers, Lakers.
Oof.
Bucks. You know what? I would probably go Lakers or Bucks because you would have an opportunity to coach someone who arguably might be considered the best to ever play the game. Because I think Giannis is trending in that direction, and LeBron obviously already is.
How about a guy like Kemba Walker and coaching the Celtics, having him to do what you want to do on the floor?
Oh, he'd be brilliant. And
yeah.
Kemba, one of the most underrated leaders in our game. Great, great human being.
First one falls for him. And McCollum on the floor, all business. Off the court, he's a very outspoken player, very colorful guy. And Greg, you were saying you see a future in media for him when he stops playing.
No doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, McCollum spoke up quickly about the seriousness of the virus when they were playing. He's very knowledgeable and shares what's on his mind. A media position after he's done playing is a very real possibility if he chooses to.
And the leap McCollum has taken has been remarkable. From little used reserve his first 2 years to star scorer. Are you kidding me?
Harris passes to Simmons. Over Lillard. And it's Simmons. That time on the assist from Harris. Simmons got 15 points.
You gotta at least contest Simmons from the mid-range. I mean, he has the touch to be effective from there.
McCollum kicks to Whiteside. Hood, the pass to McCollum. Off target from three-point range.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
And the shot goes in.
This is what a point guard should do. Simmons is so adept at noticing when the defense is overcommitted.
Simmons against Lillard. McCollum left side. Good. Great play by Lillard to set it up. McCollum's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
You have to go to your best scorers. I mean, it's a smart strategy, and so far, it's paying off in this game.
Snatched up.
Playing him tough inside and preventing the layup, that'll get the whole team pumped up.
Hood drives in. Count that bucket. 9 points in the game so far.
That's 3 of 4 here to start the half.
Timeout called the 76ers.
And you look at Robert Covington, first team all-defense in 2018, the kind of versatile stopper that every team in the league could use.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Trent's checked in. The 76ers also with a sub. Shake Milton, he's checked in for Harris. And Covington, maybe not a star, but he's a winning player. We've seen that.
And the perfect example of that 3-and-D role player. Can guard 4 or 5 positions and can definitely sling it from outside.
It's a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. We were all witnesses last year to the pandemic, which struck with worldwide repercussions. The NBA was no exception. The 1920 season was altered, and this season was delayed. But the league is finding a sense of solidarity and resolve under the leadership of Adam Silver. Now, sports is a microcosm of society as a whole, and we all are finding different ways to overcome this. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, DA.
And it's clear Covington isn't bashful. He welcomes any opportunity he gets to score inside.
Passes it to Milton. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Rodney Hood. That's his first foul. A different look now for Portland. Nurkic checked in for Whiteside. Collins comes in for Robert Covington. And Mario Hezonja subbed in for Rodney Hood. And then for Philadelphia, Pels checked in. And Matisse Thybulle subbed in for Danny Green. Pulls up. That one a little long.
With the D playing soft off him, he might have been better off taking it to the hoop instead of settling for the jumper.
Hezonja, the pass to Trent. He kicks to Lillard. Launches it. The Trailblazers with the new shot clock. Here's Nurkic, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Let's take a look at the 2K leaderboard to find out who the best defenders have been over the past month. Here are your steals leaders. 4th, Ben Simmons.
Really been fantastic defensive